Up next, we tackle everyone's favorite topic, getting paid. Now, whether you're selling beats, books, art, and more, unlocking global revenue is key to Caribbean creative freedom. So guiding us through the pathways is one of the region's top fintech minds. That's Mr. Rickardo Ebanks, Chief Digital Officer at Grace Kennedy Financial Group. He's joined by a powerhouse panel, Keron Rose, digital strategist and host of Digipreneur FM, helping creators across the region build online income streams, and Uchi Uchibeke, CEO of Chimney, a tech founder on a mission to make global payouts accessible to everyone, and Douglas Davidson, co-founder of Best Pay and GSpend, building innovative fintech solutions for SMEs in the Caribbean. Rickardo, the stage is happily yours.
Thank you very much, David. Good morning to everyone online. And what a topic we're talking about here, getting paid, right? Yes. After all of the hard work, it all comes down to how you can now get paid. So today we're going to talk about how creators can monetize their content and get paid in the Caribbean. So I'm going to start off with Keron. And Keron, you know, a lot of persons say, well, my only solution seems to be that I have to have a bank account in the US or some other place in order to be able to do these things. Is that true? Or are there solutions available to us in the Caribbean?
Woo, good. You know, I'm on the other side of the world in Thailand, and I was about to say good morning, and I was like, wait a minute, where? Jamaica's lunchtime right now, but it's 12:23 in the morning right now. So that threw me off for a second. But anyways, navigating, getting paid online in the Caribbean is really a gymnastic sport, because depending on what your business model is, depending on what type of creator you are, where you want to monetize, that's all going to dictate what exactly you're going to need to be able to monetize. So let's start with social media, right? In the Caribbean, there is no social media platform that allows us to monetize directly. So there's no TikTok shop, there's no Facebook shop, there's no Instagram shop. We also cannot monetize the views on these platforms as well, all right? However, we can monetize on YouTube, and YouTube does have the ability to do direct deposits into our bank accounts, right? That's one of the ways that we could monetize. Now, if you decide that you want to start selling products, you want to start selling services, or again, you're a creator, maybe you're coming up with your own products, and again, you want to start to drive sales. As I said, we don't have access to the e-commerce features on social media. What is mandatory that you have, though, you have to have an e-commerce ready website. Yes. It is mandatory for anybody within business or the creative space. When you are in the Caribbean, you want to have that website, and it works in a few different ways for you as well. When you have that website and you have the e-commerce features on your website, so it's e-commerce ready. If you're going to sell products, you can drive traffic from social media back to your website, and that is where the sale is going to close. Now, depending on the platform that you decide to choose, whether it is WordPress, if it's Wix, if it's Shopify, it's Squarespace, the most important question that you need to ask yourself before you just go and sign up for, I know my guy, shout outs to Adrian Dunkley. Adrian mentioned Squarespace, but Squarespace is an amazing platform, and it's one of the platforms I tell no Caribbean creative to use or no Caribbean business to use, because we struggle to get paid from the platform, right? We can't. So what you want to do is, when you're looking at websites, you need to understand what payment gateways integrate with those particular website builders. So with WordPress is the most versatile platform. It's also the one that has the biggest learning curve. But the thing with WordPress, we're able to integrate all the Caribbean payment gateways. So that could be WePay, that could be First Atlantic Commerce. Whatever the payment gateway is, integrates into WordPress, right? If you use platforms like Shopify and Wix, we can use PayPal, but PayPal works a little bit differently in every single Caribbean island. So one of the workarounds I've been telling people to do is if you're going to use a Wix or a Shopify or even a Squarespace in this example, you can use PayPal, right? But you're going to have to now set up something like Wise, right? Set up a Wise account. If you don't know how to do it, if you just jump on Google, type in Wise, type in my name, Keron Rose. I have an entire step-by-step guide walk you through how to create it and set it up. Once you have that Wise account, that can connect to PayPal. And now anybody that pays you or any platform that you use that integrates with PayPal, you could receive those PayPal funds and it goes directly to your Wise account. And then you're going to have access to US dollars. So you could either use the digital card that they give you, or they will mail you out a physical card to your home. Whatever island you are in, they will mail you out that physical card. So Wise is a great help. And when you pair that with PayPal, now you could use any website builder that connects with PayPal. If you do not have PayPal and you need to use a Caribbean payment gateway, then any platform you use, Shopify, Wix, Squarespace, ensure that the Caribbean payment gateway you're using can integrate in that platform. Because the number one problem where on an e-commerce front that people come to me for is they say, hey, I spent thousands of dollars on my Wix website. I had somebody design it, I had somebody build it, but when we're trying to get paid, we can't get paid. The last place you want to be is to spend time and invest money, and you build these platforms and you have no idea how you got paid. So for the Caribbean, whenever you are thinking about getting a website, and remember, you need one because we don't have e-commerce on social media, you want to ensure that you get paid. Can I get paid needs to be the first question that you are asking when it comes to getting paid. So your website's most important. Use social media to drive traffic back to your website, especially if you have a product or a sale. We can monetize views on our websites. So when you set up something called Google AdSense, you can run ads on your website. So the more traffic that comes in, you're going to get money coming in through the ads. I just got paid out on Google AdSense a couple of days ago, right? So we can monetize on our website for the views on our website. And that's the same tool, Google AdSense. When you're monetizing YouTube, right? You might not see Trinidad or Jamaica or Guyana on the YouTube partner list, but they haven't updated it. We do get monetization, but as soon as you cross the threshold of 4,000 watch hours, in a 365 calendar year and 1,000 subscribers, YouTube will email you and say, hey, congratulations, you've now passed the threshold. Do you want to join the YouTube Partner Program? They check out your account. Once you don't have no strikes, you get enrolled. And then they invite you to open up a Google AdSense account, and then you're going to connect a bank account and everything to that. So those are some of the ways or some of the infrastructures that we need and things that we need to think about. And I have like an hour-long vlog that I did the other day. If you go on my YouTube channel and you search for, let me just find the name. If you search for what does it really look like to be a paid global content creator, I essentially went to China the other day and I vlogged my trip from Thailand to China. I was brought out there by Huawei on a paid deal, and I vlogged the entire way showing content creators how they can monetize. And I'm doing that in real time. So I'm showing you how to do affiliate marketing in real time, right? I'm giving examples of people asking me about my DJI camera whilst I'm walking to the airport. And rather than just telling them things, I would send them my affiliate link and you could earn commission. So the entire vlog breaks down step by step all the different ways that content creators can monetize. I even show contracts from brand deals that I've done. I've broken down the contracts, showed the deliverables, how much money was made, all of that. So from a content creator perspective, it's a 1-hour vlog walking through all of the different ways that we can monetize. But those are just in my short limited time. Those are some of the things that we need in order to monetize and things we need to keep in mind when we're trying to get paid online.
So Keron, I really love where you went with that. Thank you so very much. So what I hear you saying is start with the end in mind, right? We want to get that money in. And so even though the platforms themselves may not offer the option for monetization into the Caribbean, we have to have our own website, right? Our own e-commerce platform. And in choosing that e-commerce platform, let's make sure we get a payment gateway that will integrate into that platform and deliver our payments to us in the Caribbean. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Keron. That's very insightful. If you could just share with the team your vlog, where they could get some more information about how this works. Could you tell us how to find that vlog?
Yeah, so just if you search for my name, Keron Rose, KeronRosc, right? A matter of fact, I could even just share. Yeah, hold on, I'll share it to you. So if you look at my screen, Keron Rose, basically you're going to be looking for this vlog titled "What It Really Looks Like to Be a Paid Global Content Creator," right? This entire vlog, like I said, it's an hour-long vlog, and you're going to see me going through events with Huawei, and I'm showing you how you can monetize in real time. An ad just came up, but yeah. Go and find that vlog. Once you see it, an hour-long vlog, and it's showing you all the different ways that we can monetize.
Excellent. Thank you, Keron. So let's go to our friend Uchi Uchibeke. All right? And we're hearing Keron describing the workarounds that we have to put in as Caribbean people, but it seems like there's a core infrastructure problem in the region. Tell us about that and maybe some solutions that you're working on.
In Toronto, so the time zone is similar, and I'm looking forward to visiting Jamaica soon. I've not been yet, so really looking forward to that. So yeah, one of the things that we noticed when we started Chi Money was really the challenge of sending payments across different parts of the world, right? So from the US to the Caribbean to Africa to Asia, it's always a big challenge to do that. And there are three things that make this very hard: the infrastructure, compliance, and also the speed of technology. And what we've decided to do is to build an infrastructure to change that. For example, if you're a freelancer in the Caribbean and you want to receive payment, like the challenges of doing that, right? Sometimes you get paid and that money doesn't arrive in weeks and sometimes even months. And when you receive the money, you basically lose maybe 7%, sometimes 20% of it to bank fees and also exchange rate. And for us at Chi Money, we decided to change that. And basically, we wanted to make sending payment as easy as sending a text message or an email,
Nice.
right? Imagine being able to receive payment for the work that you completed for a client just as fast and easy as you receive an email. And that's what we're doing with Chi Money, right? And what we've done is that we've built the foundational layer and infrastructure that connects different payment methods. So from bank accounts to crypto to mobile money and other options across different parts of the world. And we make that available in an API and also an app. So how the Chi Money app works is that for freelancers and for creatives, you're able to request payment from your clients, regardless of what country they are based. So you enter their email and select the amount you want to send, you want to request, and instantly they get a notification saying that you've requested a payment. And once they make that payment, instead of waiting for 2 days or 14 days or even more than that to get the payment in your bank account in the Caribbean, with Chi Money, you can get the funds the next day, right? So once they've paid, the fund settles in your Chi Money wallet, and then you click cash out, and we instantly send that money to your bank account using one of the partners that we have in the region. And I mean, that's the beauty of technology and solving problems with technology, and especially when we look at how AI is changing that. AI makes it easier for us to build this kind of solution, especially when we look at how we're using AI for identity verification, right? Before AI, it was hard to really verify IDs and also to do transaction monitoring at the same time. So at Chi Money, we've been able to solve this problem by building systems that do instant identity verification and also do transaction monitoring in real time. And then when we move into the other part of this, which is how this payment actually works for a freelancer. I mean, for most of us that are creative, we don't really care about the technology, right? We just want to get paid, and we want to be able to spend the money that we get. But what makes this really possible, especially at Money, is a wallet-based system, right? What that means is that you get one wallet, but that wallet supports multiple currencies. So today you can hold money in US dollars, Canadian dollars, Mexican pesos, Nigerian naira, and also we're looking to add some additional currencies, especially as we collaborate with some partners in the Caribbean. So a multi-currency wallet offering that makes you a global citizen is what we've built at Money. And this really changes the game, right? And it changes the game because it provides flexibility for freelancers to hold money in multiple currencies without having to be in those different locations. So a client in the US can pay me for the service that I performed, or a client in Asia can pay me for a service that I performed, and I can instantly hold that money in USD, and then I can convert it to my local bank account the same day or the next day, right? And that's like a game changer for how money moves, right? And when we look at the friction of transaction cost also, I mentioned earlier that when one of the challenges that we see with money movement for creatives and also for freelancers and others is just how expensive it is, right? With some of the popular platforms, when you get the money and you want to pay out your bank account, the exchange rate is just very disappointing, to say the least, right? You convert it to your local currency, and it's just like you're losing so much money in that. And Money is changing how that works, right? And we're doing that by partnering with local banks and also local financial institution. And what this does for us is that we settle the banks in US dollars, which is something they want, and then they pay out to the bank account of creatives and also freelancers the same day or next day in an exchange rate that is more favorable for everyone. So it's a win-win-win for us, right? For us, for the partners that we work with, and also for the creators and also the freelancers. So I'm going to conclude by saying that, yes, for payments to move fast, it's more than just a technology problem, right? It's also a compliance problem.
Yes.
It's also a business problem. And it's also a problem of, is there enough volume moving into this region to justify like the expenses? And I mean, for the Caribbean, we see that there's enough volume and enough activity, especially being generated by creatives and also the young talent that are working remotely from there. And that's why we've invested to make it as easy as sending a text message or as easy as sending an email. And yeah, if you want to try out how the Money app works, you can check out Money or search for Money online. You would get a link to the app. And also we're available. We have a strong support team who is available to support with any issues that you might have. But yeah, I'm really happy to be here. Looking forward to the Q&A sessions to help clarify some points.
So, Uchi, I'm sure everybody's excited to hear about being able to operate in the currencies where their customers are, paying them in those currencies. I imagine that you have to have good relationships with banks in the different countries. Can you maybe share with us which markets you're currently operating in or targeting getting set up in shortly?
For sure. Yeah, so today we can send money to over 100 countries, including Jamaica, right? So, and how that works is we have licensed partners in those different countries. And in some cases, we have one partner that can cover several countries, right? And almost all countries that are not sanctioned, Chimon is able to send money to those countries. And for businesses that are looking to pay creators, how it works today is that the business only needs to enter the email of the person they are looking to pay, right? So we have a client that does payments to about 500 people across 7 countries every month. Before Money, they use their Revolut to send the payment. And it was always a pain for the finance team, right? Because they have to collect the bank account details of those 500 people, manually process each of those payments to those different countries. And the fees are also very unpredictable. Yes. They use Tree Money to do that, right? They just enter the email of everyone and click send, and everyone gets their money.
Fantastic. Thank you, Uchi. So, Douglas, it now comes to you, right? So, we're hearing lots of solutions here. I'd love to hear how you are focusing on the needs of Caribbean people to help them solve this problem.
Yes, thank you very much, Riccardo. At Best Pay, we're incorporated in September 2022 with the main goal of filling the need. For Caribbean creatives, Caribbean micro, small, and medium enterprises. We started out focusing on the creative economy by looking to provide solutions for persons to get paid, primarily through the US-based platforms, YouTube, Facebook. And on that journey, we were introduced with the Interledger Foundation. Interledger Foundation is seeking to build an open source payment network. And we applied to their Interledger Foundation grant, of which we are a grantee. And the main focus of that grant is to develop a prototype for a solution that allows persons to quickly and easily build platforms like Airbnb, food delivery services.
Wow.
You can think of any service that has a supply and demand dynamic.
Right.
So if you're a creator and you make soaps, for example, and you excel at that, you might get at a point where you want to build something for other creators who build soaps, to put their soaps on your platform.
Got you.
And to sell. So you're serving yourself, and you're also serving the creative community that you serve. So that's our main project right now. And the Caribbean Creators Expo really is a gateway for creators to reach out to the diaspora, to reach out to the US and Canada. So we're working on some exciting projects that we want to share with the creator and the creative community, and really looking forward to sharing that soon. So another key aspect is that we collaborate. One of our key branding values is collaboration, because we can't move forward without true collaboration, right?
Right.
So Uchi on the platform, he provides an API. So what this API allows us to do is to plug into this network of 200 countries that he mentioned earlier. So that's primarily what we seek to utilize, and to provide these software solutions to creatives and other MSMEs to really make an impact on their lives, their communities, and the wider economy.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, man, thanks.
Fantastic, Douglas. Some very good work happening there. If persons want to get some more information, find out about when you are coming into their country, their market, where can they get information about your platform?
Yes, for sure. It's bestpay.net. So just visit bestpay.net. And right now, as I said, we are a startup, and we seek to really make an impact. And we're all about collaboration. So if anyone that's interested in digital innovation, payments, reach out, and really get in touch. So another thing that we're focusing on is training. So we view training as a key aspect of general professional development for creatives, for MSMEs, and that's where we would have mentioned earlier GSPEN, which stands for the Global South Professional and Economic Network. So the Global South represents 160 countries that are below the equator. So you think Caribbean, you think Asia, you think South America, Central America. and the Pacific. So what we aim to do in small steps is to work with the public and private organizations in these companies to help to deploy these solutions to help the citizens in their countries. Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you, Douglas.
Thank you.
All right, so let's cover a few questions here now. Keron, I would love if you could tell us what are some of the common mistakes that you see creators make when you're trying to get paid online, that you could give them some guidance to not go down that wrong road.
So, so the biggest mistake that creators make is that they don't understand the business of content, right? And because they don't understand the business side of content, they don't think to put infrastructure in place. And because they don't do that, they pigeonhole themselves into only earning money from brand deals. So they're not getting paid off the platforms, and the majority of them don't have YouTube channels, so they're not earning revenue off of that, or a website to earn revenue off of that, or sell products and whatnot. And because they don't learn the business of content, and they don't treat themselves like a business, if you just try to be a pure content creator in the Caribbean, we don't have access to all the different monetization features from social media like the other markets. So you could be in the US, if you were an American, you have access to everything. You could be a full-time content creator just off of creating content on the platforms alone. In the Caribbean, you need to be a lot more strategic. You need to learn the business of content. Once you learn the business of content, and I don't have the book here, but if there's a book called Content Inc. by Joe Pulizzi, that is a blueprint to the business of content. If you can follow that blueprint and you could start now to start learning the other forms of monetization, you're going to start to build yourself up as a business, and you're going to not rely on just trying to earn money from views. You're going to start to now pull in money from a wide variety of different sources. But again, you got to start to think of yourself as a business, and that's going to come with some new learning and reframing of what it means to be a content creator in the Caribbean.
Fantastic. Some great advice there, Keron. Uchi, you mentioned compliance as you were presenting on your solutions. You know, a lot of times persons say, well, I was receiving money and then maybe my account got frozen, right? What are the things that as Caribbean people, we need to make sure that we're doing well so that we don't breach the compliance guidelines that are out there?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking that. Yeah, compliance is key to any instance of money movement. And I mean, from someone in the inside, a lot of times when accounts are frozen, it's as a result of the bank or the fintech not being able to not being able to justify the risk, right? So how we look at it is that if this client is going to make it hard for us to renew our license, or if they are going to make it hard for us to kind of show where their money is coming from, then it's just safer to stop them from using the platform. But how we can prevent that as creators and freelancers in the Caribbean is first by working only with clients and receiving money from people that you trust. So that can be in the form of a client that is reputable. And also, I mean, I've seen folks basically just receive money from a friend who is in the US or other parts of the world, but that friend has some history with the banks, or maybe that money came from like a source that is not justified, right? So just being careful about who you accept payments from. I think that's the first step. The second step is trying as much as possible not to move money around too much if you don't need to, right? Imagine you receive $5,000 and then you move it immediately to a different account, and then you then move part of it to a different account. Just moving that money sporadically and across different accounts, I think it raises a red flag. And in some cases, if you know you are going to receive a very large amount, which you've not received before. So, for example, you've been receiving $500 and you just want to receive $10,000 out of the blue, right? That would definitely raise a red flag for the financial institution. So maybe notifying them that you're going to be receiving this amount ahead of time, that would also help so that they can expect it, and also providing the invoice to support that amount, that would be helpful. So those 3 tips, I think that they are good starters for ensuring that we don't get debanked or our accounts don't get blocked.
Thank you. So I want to close out by thanking our guests, Keron, Uchi, and Douglas, for sharing with us exactly how, as Caribbean creatives, we can get paid in the Caribbean, and doing so while staying within the guidelines of the various regulations. Thank you for joining us for this conversation. Hopefully you all know how to get paid and you will follow the advice that you've heard here today. Stay tuned. We're moving on to the Creative Showcase.
Look how the security I watch there. They don't